and welcome back to another episode of WWWS Shaving. It's your girl Erica, and it's always a pleasure to be talking to my favorite people. Jill, sorry I missed you last week. Johnny Johnson, Whiskey Row, Alec, Sal. I actually haven't seen you in a while, girl. What's going on there? My new subscribers, you and hello and hi to all of you. For this week's episode of WWWS Shaving, we are talking about, drumroll please, ingrown hairs. I know that was supposed to be incredibly exciting, but ingrown hairs are really not that exciting and they're really not that fun. So let's crack on. How do you get ingrown hairs? I'm going to tell you. So ingrown hairs happen when you've either waxed, shaved, plucked, removed any hair from your body, and the new follicle that grows in goes back into the skin. Or it goes and gets stuck in an area that doesn't actually have an opening for the follicle to come in. Therefore, you get this little bump over and then this weird hair growing in a weird direction, and they're incredibly uncomfortable. That's what those are, if you didn't already know. Because I remember when I got my first one and I was like, what is this? Ingrown hairs can look like one of two things. It can look kind of like a zit without a pus, although there can sometimes be a little bit of a residue. Or it can kind of just look like, not goosebumps on the skin, but incredibly irritated red skin, almost rashy. That happens when you have a bunch of ingrown hairs. Actually, that's not usually ingrown hairs. Usually that's just irritation from the razor blade, especially if you use a cartridge base. We're not going there today, although cartridge base does tend to cause a lot of ingrown hairs. That's why I tell most people to switch to a safety razor. How to remove ingrown hairs. There are two types of ingrown hairs. There is the bad shave, and I have quite a few ingrown hairs. And then there's just the one or two ingrown hairs that you may receive if your skin just didn't happen to get the best either exfoliant or enough heat prior to shaving. So if you've had a bad shave and your entire skin is all inflamed, normally that's not an ingrown hair, but ingrown hairs tend to be a reaction to that bad shave. So if you get that big red inflammation, here's what you do. Take a cloth, run it under warm water, and put it against your neck. After about 3 or 4 minutes, remove the cloth, take a little bit of aspirin, grind up the aspirin so it's really, really fine, put that same aspirin in warm water, give it a little bit of a rub so it almost dissolves, and then go ahead and apply that same cloth to that irritated skin. The aspirin will soothe things. It is not going to solve it. It is just a remedy for the current situation. When you have finished with the cloth, go ahead, remove it off your incredibly irritated skin and apply a mild witch hazel based aftershave balm. If you apply an alcohol-based aftershave balm onto that irritated skin, I promise you, your neighbors, your cousins, your friends, the people down the street, and probably the police officers in the next county will hear you scream. So do not put alcohol-based aftershave balm or lotion or tonic or gel onto your skin when you are incredibly irritated. Alright, so ingrown hair versus number 2. So when you get 1 or 2 little ingrown hairs and you can kind of just feel them, it's okay. That just means sometimes you didn't do the best prep and you may have just 1 or 2 extremely curly hairs on that surface of your skin. Whether it be your face, your armpit, your various other accoutrements, you may get a surprise here and there. So you do very similar to what you did with the bad case. You take a warm compress and apply it to that section of the skin. Go ahead with a light, gentle pair of clean tweezers. Do not use tweezers that have been all over your body. Use clean, sanitized tweezers and pull out the 1, 2, 3 ingrown hairs. When you are finished, again, witch hazel-based aftershave balm onto that area of your skin. and be gentle with it. If you go ahead and apply a tie right next to your skin, or ladies, a scarf in an area, because I know some of you ladies shave, if you are irritating or adding fabrics to areas that you just are healing, you are going to have a lot longer of a healing process than if you just wear a cotton t-shirt and go to bed, or if you decide to wear a tight collar. Be a little gentler on yourself and at least wait until you get to the office to go full tilt. Obviously, we're going to talk about ingrown hair prevention, because what kind of wild woman wet shaver would I be if I didn't tell you how never to get an ingrown hair? And here are my steps to never getting an ingrown hair, whether it be on my leg, my armpit, or various other accoutrements. Use an exfoliant. Gentlemen, if you don't know what an exfoliant is, it's a gritty, either a paste or a gel base that you massage onto the skin, and it sort of feels like there's either a sand, a nut, some sort of crushing in it to allow the dead skin cells to remove from the surface. Washing with a face cloth isn't always going to work. Sometimes you need something more abrasive with a gel base or a lubricant behind it in order to get rid of dead skin cells, because dead skin cells are normally what helps cause ingrown hairs. So, exfoliate. Number 2, use a hot compress if you do not shower pre-shave, or use hot water, not extremely hot water, but hot water on your skin in order to allow the pores to open up if that's something you need. Just keep the skin nice and soft. Another reason why you're getting ingrown hairs is also because your razor blade may not be sharp. If you are using a cartridge-based shaver and it says you can get up to 10 to 12 to 35 to 165 shaves on one cartridge, they're most likely lying to you. If you have shaved 2, 3, maybe 4 times with the same cartridge and you're finding that by the 4th shave it's not as good as the first one, it's time to throw the cartridge away and just get a safety razor. It's time. If you are a safety razor shaver, the number one thing I heard from people as new safety razor shavers was, I didn't get a good shave. And I would say, how many packs of razor blades have you tried? If the answer was 1 or 2, I would look at the person like this. Guess how many razor packs there are in the universe? Thousands. So what I suggest to you is buying 4 or 5, either milder or more aggressive than the ones you're currently using, in order to see which razor blades work for you. Because razor blades, honestly, that work on my armpits don't sometimes work the same on my legs. So yeah, I actually have different razor blades for different sections of my body. I know, right? I'm such a diva. So, for a quick recap, how do you get ingrown hairs? Ingrown hairs are when the follicle recedes under and tries to poke up somewhere else, or just straight over bends. No bueno. How to remove ingrown hairs the proper way. Do not use your fingers to bleed out your ingrown hairs. You will get bacteria underneath them and cause more problems than you already have. So, use clean tweezers to remove, use a warm compress, have an aspirin if you are uncomfortable, or smoke a joint, and do whatever it is you need to do in order to relieve yourself of that discomfort. Do not, for whatever reason, apply non-real fabrics, polyester, nylon, rayon, to discomfort on your skin, because it will just turn everything even more uncomfortable for not only you, but for me. Nothing worse than seeing a guy with fresh razor burn. Third, how to prevent. Use an exfoliant, warm compress on the skin, new blades, most of the time when you shave. If you're finding you're dull on the 4th shave, only shave with that razor blade 3 times then. Why have a bum shave when razor blades in safety razors are only costing you maybe 30, 45 cents a piece? In a cartridge base, if that's your case, if you want to blow stacks of money on bad shaves, that's up to you. But if you're finding that 35, 40 shaves you're not getting there and you're only getting 2 shaves, only shave with that thing twice, because ingrown hairs are not worth it for you and for me. Because if I see you with ingrown hairs, I know I'm not doing my job. Thank you again for watching another episode of Wild Women Wet Shaving. It's always a pleasure to be talking to you. I love you guys. Thank you for letting me have last week off. I genuinely needed it. Last week was... And now that it's over, it's still crazy, but at least I could take a little bit of extra time to actually breathe this week. So, I need you gentlemen and ladies and grandma and grandpa and aunt and uncle and cousins. I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. The like button, the subscribe button, wherever they're located, I need you to click them. And then for this week's comment question of the day, I don't really have one, but tell me what your favorite razor blade is to use in your favorite shaver. Whether it be a Gillette based, Schick based, Bic based, Rockwell 6C, 95R, some of the fat boy Gillettes that you can get. Talk to me. Let's go. I want to hear what's going on. How was your last week? Anyway, before I talk for the next 72 hours, I'm going to let you get on with your Thursdays, and I'll see you beautiful people next Thursday. Bye.